What is a hobby that you have that people might not expect?
So I would say
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to 5 with T5. We're bringing local business owners, community champions, and all-around amazing individuals on to learn about their stories or business in a quick and effective way. My name is Stephen Turnbull from T5 Insurance, your host, and I'm joined by my guest today, Miss Ashley Paolozzi with Premium Mortgage out of Clinton, New York. If you're joining us for the first time, we're going to start the clock with 5 rapid-fire questions from our guests in the first 5 minutes, and then we'll slow it down to get to know our guests a little bit. Ashley, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. This is a big one. If you were a meme, which one would you be?
Okay. I know this one because I use this one all the time. I would be the meme with Jennifer Aniston and Phoebe from Friends where they're like jumping up and down and they're like, ah! Yeah, that would be me.
I love that. I love that. You know that it's funny because Michaela was helping me put together these questions and she was like, what meme would you be? And I was like, oh, you know, the seal that's in the water just spinning, has no idea what's going on with his life, just spinning. That would be me. That's the one that I use so often. So I'm glad yours is a little bit more interesting.
Wait, I kind of think that sorry, not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
When you were on your cruise, didn't you do a synchronized swimming? You kind of were the seal in the water.
That's a whole nother episode, Ashley. Okay? That video will never get leaked. Question number 2. What is a hobby that you have that people might not expect?
So I would say CrossFit, but I feel like I've posted enough about it that a lot of people know that I do CrossFit. So I'm going to say making bread. I like to make bread and bake.
What was that?
Yeah.
Sausage bread you made one time for Michaela and I?
Oh yeah, my sausage roll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my nanny's recipe.
All right. Question number 3. Would you suggest your career to others and why?
Yes. If people like banking and finance, absolutely.
Perfect.
And why? I would say it's fulfilling, helping people financially. I was in banking before I did mortgages, so I really enjoyed helping people get on the right track. Mm-hmm. And it kind of stems into mortgages, making sure that they can qualify. So you're just helping people in their life.
Perfect. Question number 4. Share a piece of advice that you would give to someone starting out in their career.
I think
you've learned up until this point.
I think being honest. I think, Stephen, you do this as well in our field. If we can't help someone, I'm just brutally honest. And if I think that there's a different product in the community that would better serve them, I'd rather lose the business and help them have the best situation for their needs than get the sale.
Yep, 100%. I tell people all the time, 2 things to be successful in business, career, whatever. Do your job and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And it is so interesting. I mean, we're both young professionals. You look at this big bad world of the business working world when you're coming out of college and all these people in these big, dark suits come in to talk to your class about how serious life's going to be in the careers and all this. It really just boils down to those 2 things. You do your job, You show up, and you do the right thing. Last question. This might be the most important one.
Okay.
For Ashley Paolozzi, Instagram stories or Snapchat stories?
Oh, that one's easy. Instagram. I am rarely on Snapchat.
Well, that's easy. That makes it easy then. All
definitely
right.
Instagram.
You crushed the first 5 questions, Ashley. Let's learn a little bit more about Ashley Paolozzi. Tell us about yourself, your business, what you do with Premium, the work that you do there, where you guys are located, all that good stuff.
So we are in the village of Clinton, right next to Utica Coffee. So if there's any coffee lovers, we're right next door, which I love because I'm constantly going over there and getting my coffee fuel. And we're an independent mortgage agency, and I'm licensed, and we're really able to help borrowers find the best fit for their financial needs, because we don't just work with 1 or 2 investors, we have multiple. So especially in this market, it's really great and competitive.
So explain that a little bit more, because I talk a lot in my content and the educational stuff that we do for my standpoint at T5 about how we're an independent agency. We have different companies we work with. We have options. We take care of you. You're the client. Like, what does that mean from the mortgage standpoint?
Yeah, so kind of similar with you, Stephen, for insurance. Like let's say a big insurance company like State Farm. You aren't just working with those investors, you are individuals, so you have the ability to outsource to others to see what the best fit is for that individual. I can do the same thing. So where a bank or credit union might use one or two investors, I have like 30 that I can go through.
Mm.
Everything's processed right here through Premium. So there's not another party touching their file, which is huge throughout the mortgage process because it's hard enough in New York State. So you want everything to be streamlined and not have someone else touching the file if they don't technically need to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really great that everything is just processed internally. The whole transaction stays right here at Premium. And it just makes for a smoother transition throughout the start to finish process of the closing.
Mm. Yeah, which is good because you have everybody, and just in our space as well, that has different situations, different things going on, different needs, and so you're still able to place them with the best product of whatever makes sense for that client's needs, which is good.
Yeah,
Let's
because no
let's
one's financial picture is going to be the same.
no, nope, yeah. So let's let's digress with that stuff for a second. So born and raised in this area,
Yes.
one of four
I'm a
girls for
native.
siblings,
I have
right?
I have three sisters. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have three sisters. I'm an identical twin. And then I have two younger sisters. We grew up in Whitesboro, so I went to Whitesboro High School, graduated from there, went to school and stayed local. I started in banking. That's where my career first started. I was working at a local credit union while going to college. And then I just ended up really enjoying it and staying in the banking field. And I was able to start learning about mortgages and transitioned into getting licensed. And that's where Premium came into play. So,
Here's a question I have. I think either one or two of your siblings are out of town, right? Two?
two. Yeah.
Two. Okay.
Yep.
And you were born and raised here, Whitesboro, local college. Why stay in this area? Like, for you, why what does this area mean to you enough that it's been important to you to start a career and stay here?
Yeah, I love our community. I love that hometown feel. Um, Two of my sisters moved out of the area. One of them was my identical twin. She's in the DC area. So very different paths. But I've just always been a homebody and I really have just enjoyed watching our community grow and being a part of it.
Mm. Yeah, because there is plenty of that going on right now.
Yeah.
What is it like growing up with an identical twin?
I don't know anything different, but I love it.
Very fair. That's a very fair answer. You're right.
You always have a best friend. I've never had to ever be alone. Um, even though she's hours away from me to get to her, we probably talk like 20 times a day. So it's never kind of felt like we were away from each other.
Sure.
So I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
still have our own identities, which is good as well. Cause when she does come home and she's in town, people are like, is that Ashley? And she gets called me like a lot now because now she's been gone from this area, geez, I think like 14 years. So
Mm.
people aren't used to seeing her. So
So when you went through school, was the banking and finance realm always something that you were? I mean, we become good friends the last couple of years, so I
yeah.
know your journey. But you tried some different industries and whatever, but ended up back into the banking finance world for the reasons of you already talked about in the early on questions of why you like helping people and how fulfilling it is and all that. But was that always the plan for you?
No. So my twin sister always knew that she wanted to work in the field that she works in. I did not really know. So going to college, I was just doing kind of general studies and I started working at a local credit union and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being able to help people. I enjoyed being able to look at their finances and see how I could help them be more financially strong. So once I started picking that up, I started doing like personal loans and auto loans and home equities. So home equities is what really opened the door for me to start learning more about that process. And then once I started learning about that, I picked up the mortgage side and really just loved the mortgage world.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But in between baking, didn't you go into the restaurant business for a little bit
Yeah,
and
I
then
worked
back?
yeah, I worked part-time serving um and managing an entertainment side, and I just really loved like my banking and helping people on the mortgage side. So I knew that that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason I asked that. The thing that I love about what I'm trying to do with this show, podcasting in general, whatever it is, it's all about conversation. But the number one thing is relatability. There's something that you can
Yeah.
say. There's something that you hear that someone else is going through, been through, uh, whatever that can maybe question. Oh, maybe I can do something like this. And the reason that I asked is I know you have. We're in banking, went away from banking, came back to banking. For someone on the outside, that could be, those are big dramatic life changes, right? Because
Yeah.
I want to be in banking, or I'm trying this, but I'm not. For somebody listening to that right now, that's in that situation where, man, I've been in X role, or I'm known as this person, but I really want to try to do this. Like, what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
I would say, definitely try it. Some people think, oh, I've never done that, so it's not something that I'll be able to do.
Right.
Um, that's not true. If you're interested in it and you have a passion for it, um, there's so many resources out there that you can do. You can
Sure.
get into it at a later time. You don't have to have the experience to be able to jump into it. You just have to have the drive to want to learn it.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot like that. I just think
Oh
the
no.
premise of what I'm trying to get at is like, life's too short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like do what you think you want to do, and you're like, maybe I want to try to do this, but then you're like, you know what? I really like the
Yeah.
banking. I really like the finance. I really like help people with their mortgages. I like finding the
Yeah.
success in that, and you found the home in that where you were, but it took you doing something else to realize that's what you wanted to do. I guess
Yeah.
that's the point I was trying to
Yeah.
make.
And I think the world of doing mortgages through like how do I like in a setting such as like a bank or a credit union is very, very different than what I'm doing now.
Sure.
And I was a little afraid to take that leap and get licensed and take that test because I wasn't a great test taker and I was a little intimidated by that. But once I committed to I'm going to do this, I say all the time it was the hardest test I've ever studied for in my life. I've never worked so hard
Mm.
to study for something and pass it, and then once I actually did it, it was really, really rewarding. And um I'm so happy that I pushed myself to do it. It was hard, but now I look back and I'm like, this is everything that I wanted.
Right. And it took you doing that leap and taking those hard steps to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's the premise of it right there. I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing that experience, because I think there's definitely someone that's probably going to listen to this and maybe going through that or went through that, or whatever, in their complete own vein. Ashley,
Yeah,
for someone
absolutely.
who wants to reach out, we're going to wrap this up. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Apparently, it's not Snapchat stories, so
It's not Snapchat.
don't
Never
be
snap me.
Snapchatting her. That's never
It'll
You're
sit
never
there
going to
for
get through.
months. I'll never
No,
see it.
you're never going to get through.
The best way is my individual cell phone number, which is 315-794-6573. That's what I use for work and for personal. You can text me, call me, also email. It's my last name Paolozzi, so Paolozzi at premiummortgage.com. And I would be happy to help.
Awesome, Ashley. Well, thank you for all you do. I know we have mutual customers that work together very often, and always a fantastic experience, and really appreciate everything that you do.
Well, I
Everybody,
appreciate everything T5 does because you make
you.
my job a lot easier.
Well, we appreciate that. Everybody, that's a wrap for today's episode of 5 with T5. We hope you enjoyed this engaging conversation with Miss Ashley Paolozzi of Premium Mortgage. Until next time, remember the power of connection and learning from one another is what makes this community thrive. Most importantly, remember to make an impact in someone's life today, even if that's your own. This is Stephen Turnbull, T5 Insurance. We'll see you next week. Take care.